welcome back. I'm Jim. This is Renegade. And today I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I've been trying to propagate cuttings and I haven't had much success. But today I wanted to show you where I think I'm getting it. I think it's going to work. So I have this cutting here that I took from a tree that was kind of different. It was weird shaped. It had some funny looking flowers on it and it was struggling. Not been taken care of, and I thought, hey, why don't I try to get a cutting? Let me try to grow this and develop it and practice my propagating skills. So I took the cutting, cut it at a bias, stuck it in some water, and about 2 weeks later I looked and nothing was going on, nothing was happening. So I pulled it and I took a knife and I scraped off some of the bark on one side just to see what would happen. And within a couple of weeks, I had roots. And I wanted to plant it last week, but I got into some poison ivy and I wasn't able to. So it had another week's worth of growth in the water. I would just add some more water to it, try to keep that water at the same level. The leaves, as you see, have all stayed nice and green. And I'm about to show you. Ready for the big reveal of the roots? Check that out. That is a massive amount of roots. You can see where I scarred the bark off. Yeah, so this is nice. So I've got a pot. I've already drilled out a little bit of a hole. This is potting mix and perlite. And you know, hopefully this is going to be the right thing to do, but I'm just going to plant that in there. I need to open that up a little bit more. I don't want to damage these roots. But this is really cool. It's going to work, I think. Tender little roots. And this pot of soil has been out all week in the elements, and we've had quite a bit of rain lately, which is great because we went a long time without any rain. We're actually was in a drought here in Maine. Started out the year 15 weekends in a row with rain, either a Saturday or a Sunday, and then we probably went 15 weeks with no rain, 90-degree temperatures. So now that it's raining again, we're very thankful. So there we go. So I'll give you an update later on, maybe in the spring. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to overwinter this in the house, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't have to cut it back. I've seen some people where they only allow a few leaves, but if you look, it looks like I've got new leaf growth. Look right here. Doesn't that look like some new leaves growing? Yeah, awesome. I just dripped on the dog. Sorry, Rennie. All right, the other thing I wanted to talk about is I had a coworker had some plum trees on his property, and he gave me a bunch of them. And they were small. They were bigger than a golf ball, but smaller than a tennis ball. And some were sweet, some were tart. It depended, I think, on how much time it had on the branch before it came off. And so I've got some of these seeds, and this is the seed in the shell. Sorry for the dirt on my hands, but this is the seed in the shell, and then on some of them I was actually able to open up that shell and get the seed out. So these need to cold stratify, which means it's a period, I think, of like 2 to 3 months of very cold temperatures, and it awakens the seed. It'll wake it up when it stops in the spring when it gets warm again. And so what I'm going to do... What's cold stratification, you ask? Cold stratification is a process that mimics natural winter conditions to break seed dormancy and promote germination, essential for many cold-hardy plants. As I've got a little bag here, and I'm going to do a little test. I'm going to see which ones are better, out of the shell or in the shell. And I've got about 14 or so of each, and you can see here's half a shell. Most of the time when I cracked them open, I didn't get a nice perfect half shell. And sometimes the seed was still connected to a little bit of a shell. And since just leaving them in the water, it's come free. But I didn't want them to dry out, so I had them in water for just a couple of days. But I made a plum sauce, and it was delicious. Vinegar-based. Oh, so good. I can't wait. So yeah, so I'm going to put these in the bags. I'll put them in the back of the refrigerator for the remainder of the fall and winter, and in the spring I'll pull them out and we'll see what we have. So if you guys have any tips for me, if you guys have been through this and you know, should I trim this plant? Should I not put this in potting mix? Give me a shout, let me know. Otherwise, please like, share, follow. I'll see you soon. Be safe, everybody.